All right, let's dive into what might just be one of the most secret, most profound clandestine programs ever rumored to exist. We're talking about a story, a project that didn't just shoot for the stars. No, the story goes it sought to conquer time itself.
Just think about that for a second. What if you could actually see what's coming? Not just a single future, but all the possible futures. What would you do with that kind of power? And, how would it change everything?
Well, according to an article that really kicked this whole theory into high gear, that question wasn't hypothetical at all. It claims that for decades, the future wasn't a mystery, all thanks to a device born from a wild breakthrough in physics. A device that let a very select few peer into tomorrow and quietly shape the course of history.
So, where on earth did a story like this even begin? Let's get right into the alleged origins of this machine, this thing that could supposedly see the future. Okay, so the science behind this is where it gets really mind-bending. The core idea is something called informational retrocausality. In simple terms, the article claims physicists accidentally found that data patterns were showing up before the experiment that was supposed to create them even started. Information was literally flowing backward in time.
And where did this supposedly happen? Of course, at the infamous S4 facility right near Area 51. The story goes that a top-secret DARPA team in the late 60s was working off some of Nikola Tesla's more exotic theories when they just stumbled upon this anomaly. Once they confirmed it was real, bam! It was immediately classified and called the single greatest strategic breakthrough in human history. And that was the birth of Project Looking Glass.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures the insane ambition of this project. This wasn't just about spying or gathering intel in the here and now. The whole point, according to the source, was to weaponize time, to turn time itself into the ultimate tool for intelligence and, well, for control.
So if you had a tool like this, how would you even use it? What does it really mean to have the power to see what's coming around the corner?
So the first thing the Looking Glass operators supposedly discovered was that the future isn't some movie that's already been written. Nope, it's more like a shimmering, shifting cloud of probabilities, every single possible outcome all existing at once. The device didn't show them what will happen, it showed them a crazy, complex map of what could happen, and just how easy it was to nudge events one way or another.
I mean, think about the strategic implications. They're almost limitless. The article claims the device was used to see the probable outcomes of battles before a single shot was fired, to stop threats years in advance, to navigate financial meltdowns, and to figure out which technologies were absolutely going to be game changers.
Essentially, the project's operators became these unseen guardians of our time. They were allegedly witnesses to countless disasters that never happened. Nuclear wars, global pandemics, ecological collapses, all quietly sidestepped because of some preemptive action. According to this story, they weren't just predicting the future, they were actively steering the present to get the best possible outcomes.
But this incredible era of controlling time, this supposed ability to shape destiny, it came to a sudden and frankly terrifying end.
As they kept pushing the tech, trying to look further and further ahead, they found something that just shattered everything they thought they knew. The future wasn't this branching tree of possibilities anymore. It was, well, they found a wall.
Here's what they saw. Starting in the late 1990s, no matter what they did, no matter what variables they tweaked in the present, all future timelines started collapsing inward. All those branches of probability were getting pruned back, pulled toward this single unchangeable point in time around the year 2012. It was a bottleneck, and they could not see what was on the other side.
So, the billion-dollar question was, what was beyond that wall? The project's biggest brains were supposedly brought in, and the theories they came up with were just staggering. Was it some natural disaster that no one could stop? A technological singularity where AI gets so smart that human prediction becomes useless? Or, as the source claims some believed, was it something so far outside of our reality that it defied all prediction? Like, for instance, the literal, physical return of Jesus Christ to Earth.
And that was the final, chilling irony of the whole story. The most powerful tool ever created to control the future had just proved that, in the end, humanity had absolutely no control at all. It showed that history was like a train speeding into a dark tunnel, and no one could stop it, or even see what was waiting inside.
This shocking discovery apparently led to the end of Project Looking Glass itself. But its legacy is said to have lived on, under a new name and with a completely different mission.
So the project was shut down.
The people in charge decided that if the future was set in stone, then knowing about this convergence point wasn't a strategic asset anymore. It was a psychological poison, something that could cause absolute global panic if it ever got out. So they dismantled the hardware and started a campaign of disinformation to bury it.
But the project's final, terrifying report became the founding document for a new, super-secret group called the Ephesians Committee. Their job wasn't to steer or control history anymore. The mission did a complete 180. Now it was just to prepare.
Prepare for what, you ask? Well, the article ends with this absolute bombshell. The committee's new goal was to get the population ready for what they believed were events described in biblical prophecy. To be specific, a period from the King James Version of the Bible, out of the book of Revelation, known as the Great Tribulation, or as it's called in the Old Testament, the time of Jacob's trouble.
And so, if you follow this story all the way through, the greatest technological achievement in human history wasn't a key to our future, but a window that may have allowed a few people to watch it close. And it leaves all of us with this deeply unsettling question. Is all of human history just moving towards some final, unchangeable destination?